we had this new title come up, and I call it the greatest and most meaningful title I've ever received in my career, Executive Grief Ambassador. And I couldn't be more proud when I tell people that this is what I get to do. And it doesn't feel like volunteering. If I could, I would do this all day, being an Executive Grief Ambassador for Seasons. And I've had the opportunity to speak about being a two-time suicide loss survivor and mental health, grief, and then also running a social enterprise. The organization I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that we started during the pandemic is called Data Gives Back. So I'm the founder, and I created this title that felt very right for me, which was Chief Empathy Officer. So it's about doing good with data. And then for us, doing good with data is helping the grieving children, teens, and young adults at Seasons Center. So I do that in terms of working with companies, doing coaching and training on data analytics and some soft skills. And when I go out and do a presentation, it fosters conversation around grief. I never had that before in my career, talking about data analytics. I train people in Excel. Sometimes we get into a conversation around grief and grief support. So it's been, just, again, kind of mind-blowing at how well the support is and the empathy from these corporations wanting to get involved in helping Seasons Center. So this idea of Executive Grief Ambassador, I have to say it really took a different form and an amazing boost when Nina joined me. I would happily call her my grief buddy. We just are really comfortable in talking about our stories and how we can help by sharing and creating awareness for Seasons Center. I've also been able to go out and do a lot of these different podcasts. Sometimes it's very business oriented, but whenever it is business oriented, I get to talk about empathy and grief and Seasons Center. Some of them are very specific. I've talked about healing the narratives of suicide loss in a podcast in the UK. And again, I get to talk about Seasons Center.
And so working with Seasons and supporting them financially and through volunteer work is the best way to do that. Data Gives Back is an organization focused on insights coaching and analytic consulting with a cause. And that cause is a commitment to donate 25% of our monthly gross revenue to Seasons Center for Grieving Children. Seasons Center is a very special organization to me. It is something that my wife and I have been involved with and volunteering and supporting for the last few years. But this actually goes back to the 1980s. When I grew up in the Bay Area, I lost both my parents to suicide. And growing up as a suicide loss survivor really changed my perspective. I was extremely fortunate to have a really loving family, a tight group of friends, therapists, but it was a long road. It was a multi-decade road. Grief is something you deal with throughout your entire life, but I wasn't able to attend Seasons. It didn't exist back then in the 80s. So now, in figuring out how to help those similar situations, Seasons, the programs, the peer-to-peer programs at Seasons Center are the best way I've seen in this country.